Absolutely perfect day for baseball. You can see the sun is shining, few clouds in the sky, not a lot of wind as we get you set for this game between the Ottawa West Twins and the Perth Royals. It's been a great tournament here so far at the Eagle's Nest in Barrhaven, Ontario, and we are looking forward to another great matchup here this afternoon. My name's Colin Zappia, along with our color commentator Brett Jewett. Welcome to this contest, and we will show you now an up-to-date standings board as this tournament continues on. Brett, let's have a look now at the tournament standings.
Yeah, the D-backs winning their game this morning and pulling at the only team in this tournament right now with 3 wins. So they're at 3-1. That win was over Cornwall. Cornwall now at 2-2. Before that game, there was 4 teams tied at 2-1, so breaks that up a little bit. But man, that East Nepean team and the Ottawa West team, I can't wait to watch them battle in this playoffs later on, because those are 2 amazing teams if they're able to make it that far.
Critical game for the Perth Royals. As you see there, they're sitting in 5th place right now with only 1 win so far here this week. And in order to make it to Thursday's playoff, they need a win here this afternoon as they take the field and get themselves ready to face this starting lineup for the Ottawa West Twins.
Sam Kennedy, big pitcher on this team, is going to be playing shortstop and batting leadoff today. He's a big bat for this team. Jack Smugalinski, the second baseman, batting second. Liam Rossiter playing first base. Nick Hart, actually Hart, we asked him before the game how he likes it pronounced. He says Hart, but it's actually Nick Iart, I guess. Owen Cameron in right field. Vincent Leger in left. Elliot Titus on the mound today for his club. He's got a big job against this opposition today. Austin McInnes, who was great. I talked to him quite a bit before the game. He was very helpful with a lot of tips for today we'll go over later on. And then Caden Brokop, center field.
Tough lineup for this Perth Royals team to face. Here is their lineup defensively.
Truex McNevin, Pierce Stewart, and Tristan Kendall in the outfield today. In the infield at third base, Grady Beamish, Jacob Tizik at shortstop, Finn Halpenny. We might see him come in and pitch later on today. He's at second base, and then Tanner Ellick is going to be playing first base for this team. Easton Chofie on the mound. Cameron White, his battery mate behind the plate. Easton Chofie, when he came in the last game we called on Rogers TV 2 days ago, was outstanding on the mound. Just a fierce competitor, and very excited to watch him again starting this game today.
Well, it was interesting when he came in on Monday evening, and we had a very long rain delay that night, so tough on everybody involved, but they got the game, and we're watching Chofie warm up, and he just seemed to be lobbing his pitches and just kind of gingerly warming up that arm. And when the batters came to the plate, you saw a little bit more heat. So we'll have to see what he does here today. They're just about set to go. Looks like this might be Chofie's final warm-up pitch as he lobs that one in. And Sam Kennedy, the first batter for the Ottawa West Twins, steps to the plate. The umpire gives it a little wipe off right there, and we are all set to go here this afternoon.
Yeah, Chofie has an idea. Coach letting him know when he's coming in the game, warming up ahead of time, and as you said, just lobbing those pitches in, so he was definitely set and reared up and ready to go in that one.
That first pitch in there for strike number 1. Critical for the pitchers in this age category to get ahead of the batters, and Chofie does that right off the bat. Here's the 0-1. This one up high, called ball 1.
It was a very fast-paced game. I know I shouldn't be saying that, breaking a cardinal rule right now in that last game we played, talking about the pace of game, but it was a very quick game. Not a lot of balls in that game. A lot of hits early in the count in that game.
2-1 the count now to Kennedy. That pitch outside. So after watching the first ball go across the plate for his strike, Sam Kennedy sees 3 straight balls. And just as important to get ahead in the count for the pitchers, the batters to get on base, and he does that right there as that ball gets by the third baseman, Beamish. Leadoff single for Sam Kennedy.
Chofie knew he had to throw a strike. He did. That ball hit to the third baseman. Tried to play it off to his left. Did not get in front of the ball, and it goes over his glove to the left side into left field. And a leadoff single here for Sam Kennedy.
Jack Smugalinski now in the batter's box, left-handed hitter against the right-handed pitcher.
I was really impressed with the defense we saw from Chase Guthrie at third base in that other game against Perth.
2 straight balls from Chofie to Smegalinski to count 2-0. There's a big cut. Smegalinski goes right through that one. The count now 2-1.
Should see a good fastball changeup mix from Chofie today. Mainly fastballs he'll throw. He is a top 5 pitcher on this team.
That went down in the dirt. Great job by Cameron White behind the plate, keeping that in front of him. Keeps Sam Kennedy stuck to first base. Here's the 3-1. Good eye by Smegalinski, and he'll trot down to first on a walk.
2 runners on base here now. Kennedy, Smegalinski, Liam Rossiter batting. He did well in his last game he played.
That first pitch going across the plate for ball number 1. Chofie looking for the call right there, didn't get it. This one way up, missing high.
Rossiter started that third game versus Cornwall for them. Smegalinski, Bruce Mish, and then Caden Brokop came in to pitch the final inning in that game. And that was a game they lost 7-4 versus Cornwall. They got behind early in that game with walks and some wild pitches. So just a tough pitching matchup for that team.
2-1 the count to Rossiter. He pops this one up to the second baseman, and Halpenny makes the catch for out number 1 here in the top of the first inning.
I think I heard him call infield fly on that one, just on the edge of the grass in the outfield.
Here's the catcher, Nick Hart. A couple runners on. Kennedy at second base, Smegalinski at first, and here's the first pitch that he'll face. This one high for ball number 1.
Hart, a pretty big presence there on the plate, one of the taller hitters for this team.
Big cut right back up the middle, right into center field. And around third base comes Kennedy, and he'll score easily. And Ottawa West, with the first run here this afternoon, takes the 1-0 lead.
Exactly what you need from your cleanup hitter after Liam Rossiter popping up to the second baseman. Nick Hart, big hit right up the middle. Road money. Misses the pitcher into center field and able to cash in that runner, Sam Kennedy.
Owen Cameron wasting no time as he drives one deep. This one going back over the head of the right fielder, Kendall. Runners advance, and here comes the Smegalinski to score from second, and followed right behind him is Nick Hart. So a 2-run double by Owen Cameron.
Amazing. Jack Smegalinski running around the bases. Nick Hart right on his tail, and he's running around there, and that ball comes into the catcher, White picking it up but not able to get that out at the plate.
And just like that, Ottawa West up 3-0 with Vincent Leger coming to the plate. Let's see if he goes first pitch swinging. And he does, and he drives one to left field, right to the left fielder. Truex McNevins in the perfect spot and makes the catch for out number 2.
2 outs in the inning now. These teams have faced each other before. June 24th to 26th, they played in a tournament in Kingston. They beat Ottawa West 10-1, but they know this is going to be a tough team. They scored 4 runs in the last 2 innings versus Ottawa West to win that game, 10-1.
There's Elliot Titus getting his first opportunity to bat. The ball gets away from the catcher, White. And down to third goes Owen Cameron.
Smart job by White. He took a look. Runner was already almost at third base. You don't want to throw that ball away.
And this one hits Titus, so he'll go down to first. And Ottawa West now with another opportunity as Austin McInnes comes to the plate. His runners on the corners.
Yeah, runners at first and third here. Titus at first, Cameron at third after his double to right field, and then making it to third on the passed ball.
There's a good pitch, good strike there for Chofie.
Kind of curious, as Titus was running to second base, it just looked like he slowed down. I know you're trying to get that, maybe doing it on purpose. You're trying to get that catcher to throw the ball to second base so you can get that runner in from third base.
Grounder to the third baseman, right over to first. Great play
Nice.
for out number 3. But some damage done as Ottawa West puts 3 across the plate and takes an early 3-0 lead.
Great job at third base there by Beamish after that play earlier in the inning, the ball that was hit by Sam Kennedy to left field, the ball that bounced over Beamish's glove, probably a play that he should have made, but gets that final out here now, getting his glove on it and making a nice throw to first base.
Here's the batting order now for the Perth Royals.
Finn Halpenny leading off, batting second. Easton Chofie, the pitcher, we saw him. He led in 3 runs in the top half of the inning. Cameron White behind the plate will bat third. He's a big bat for this club now that he's back from suspension. Grady Beamish at third base. Truex McNevin in left field. Tristan Kendall playing right field today. He's batting sixth. Tanner Ellick, the number 7 batter, at first base. Pierce Stewart in center field, and then Jacob Tizick rounding out the order at shortstop.
Defensively for the Twins, here's their order.
Vincent Leger in left, Caden Brokop in center, and Owen Cameron will be playing right field on defense for the Twins. Austin McInnes at third base. Sam Kennedy, the shortstop. He's been a great pitcher for this club so far this year. Jack Smegolinski, Liam Rossiter at first base, rounding out the infield. Elliot Titus on the mound, looking to keep these hitters in check today, and then Nick Hart behind the plate.
And look at the heat on these pitches from Titus on the mound as he ducks down. As that throw from Hart eludes the second baseman as they finish their warm-up. And Perth will now have to get on the bats and try and get back in this game. Finn Halpenny will lead things off for the Royals.
Colin, I have to give props to our the third member of our broadcast crew today. This is Hannah Robert. She's going to be helping me with pitch count today. Besides, so that was 22 pitches thrown in the first inning by Easton Chofie. So thank you so much, Hannah, for that.
Now Titus starts things off with strike number 1. Here's the second pitch. That one goes behind the batter, Halpenny.
You can be effectively wild. I coached a game last night, and we were down a couple runs late in the game, and the pitcher hit 2 of our batters in a row. And your team is kind of worried about getting hit at that point, stepping backwards. These are young kids, 10, 11-year-olds, and you got to force them, try to stay in the box, get on base if they can, and then that's just in their head, and you can kind of scare the batter at that point and get that strikeout if you need. That's exactly what happened last night. And you see pitchers like that, Randy Johnson, Nolan Ryan in the major leagues, effectively wild and able to use that in the hitter's head.
Titus painting the corner right there. He evens the count 2-2. Here's the pitch. And Halpenny does a nice job getting a piece of it to stay alive. Titus really trying to drive home these pitches. Sometimes when you try and fire really hard, you tend to overthrow, and there's another good job by Halpenny staying alive.
In fact, Colin,
tend to overthrow, and that's when you can get a little bit wild.
Yeah. I was thinking about it here. Alec Manoah, if you're a Blue Jays fan, another one that is always high up there and hit by pitch, and just a fierce competitor on the mound, and you can really get that in the hitter's head.
This pitch up high. Good job by Halpenny laying off that. And sometimes when you're at the plate, you see that ball coming in high. You want to take a rip at it. He lays off. Now the count is full. Here's the payoff pitch. Again, up high, and Halpenny heads down to first base.
Tough at bat there for Elliot Titus, walking the leadoff hitter. Easton Chofie, the pitcher for his team. Chance to help himself out here now.
Pitcher versus pitcher. The first pitch from Titus, again up high. You talked about the Blue Jays, and how about our Michael James all decked out in his Blue Jays gear today? One of the biggest Jays fans we have.
Yeah, Michael James, can't say, he just loves the Blue Jays. He's always wearing Blue Jays gear every time I see him.
Oh, good cut right there. The ball gets away from the catcher, but Halpenny stays down at first. Count even at 1 apiece. Titus ready to deliver pitch number 3 to Chofie, and he hits one, a little flare into right field. He had to leg that one out. There might have been a chance for the right fielder, Cameron, to get Chofie out at first base, but threw it into second base. Now Perth has something going.
That's
runners at first and second.
Exactly what I thought. If we see the replay on that one, I don't know where his eyes were looking, because I saw when he picked that up, he really had a chance to get Chofie out at first base.
Here's power versus power. Titus on the mound, White at the plate. Strike 1.
Just catching the bottom corner of the plate there. Battling his control early on, but throwing pretty well, pretty hard.
That pitch a little low and away, ball 1. So now the count even, 1 apiece. Nobody out here in the bottom of the first inning. Runners on first and second. White with the good eye looks at ball number 2.
I was thinking a few years ago that play at the plate there that we just saw with White and the both runners coming in and both runners scoring there. I remember the last games we called here in the championship with East Nepean, and a play at the plate, and it was called whatever way the call went, and we could see it clearly, and they were showing the replays on air. The umpires can't see this stuff. There's no, pausing and asking for replays in this, but the umpires got together. In the end, they made the right call, but I wondered, because they can hear us talking. They'll ignore us, but they can hear us talking. And we were saying pretty loud that, or pretty clear anyways, in the broadcast that whatever the play was, safe or out at the plate.
It's like when you're coaching. They can hear you, but they just choose to ignore you.
Choose to ignore.
Big pitch right here. White slaps one to the shortstop. Infield fly right there. So White is out number 1 here in the bottom of the first inning.
Tough one for White. He's a big bat on this club, and if this Perth Royals team is going to win, they need White to get big at-bats in these big situations, big hits. But he pops out to the shortstop. I saw there, too, when that ball was caught, Easton Chofie was pretty far off first base. I wondered if he was going to throw it, but he didn't. He held on to it, so 1 out, runners on first and second.
Here's the cleanup hitter, Grady Beamish. First pitch to him was a ball up high again. Here's the 1-0, excuse me. That there, ball number 2 outside.
Still a bit wild. He's going to have to find the strike zone. There is some action in the bullpen for the Twins.
At a good pitch right there. Inside part of the plate, coming across for strike number 1.
This is where we need that third broadcaster to get up and take a bit. He would do that. He would do that for us. Hey, go ask this. Who's warming up in the bullpen?
2-1 the count. That one outside. Now 3-1. So Perth threatening with some offense here in the bottom of the first, trying to get back in the game. The early 3-0 deficit. Here's the 3-1. Good pitch right there. And that runs the count full. Base runners are going to have to be on their toes here. 3-2. Here's the big pitch. And that missing low and away. Ball 4. Now you have the bases loaded with Truex McNevin coming to the plate.
Ottawa West going to have some tough decisions here to make what they're going to do with the pitching staff. They can't let this game get out of hand. Patrick Kennedy in charge, the head coach for this club. Like I said, they do have some action in the bullpen, but the base is loaded right now in the inning, and you've walked 2 batters. There's only 1 out right now.
McNevin the other night in the game that we called was 0 for 3 ground outs. He's got a chance here now to do some damage, get his team a couple of runs with a hit.
Yeah, McNevin, 2 of those ground outs to the third baseman mentioned earlier in this game. That was Chase Guthrie playing third base in that game. He made nice plays on those.
There's a good pitch from Titus right down the middle. 2-1 the count to McNevin.
McNevin taking a little step backwards there. He's got to make sure he's stepping towards the pitcher and hitting this one hard.
This one up high again. Seems like he's releasing the ball just a little bit too early. Not coming through. Trying to overpower these Perth hitters. 3-1 the count. Here's the pitch from Titus. That went down in the dirt. So he will walk in a run as McNevin heads down to first.
Really struggling to find his release point, as you said, in this game. And he might not be long for this game if he can't find it. And out comes now the coach for this club to talk to his pitcher.
So a couple of walks back to back. So the manager out to have a chat with Titus.
That was Luke Hamill, the head coach, that came out to talk to his pitcher. Settle him down a little bit here. Still in this game.
You can see now Titus getting a little bit frustrated with himself. He's got to calm himself down early in the game here. He's throwing some heat, but just like you said, he's having trouble finding that release point. This one down in the dirt, ball 2.
This is where it's tough as a coach. You're trying to settle your player down, get on the mound, take a breath, get set, and fire.
Here's the 2-0 from Titus to Kendall. And a third straight ball.
And what you don't want here, Colin, is for them to start trying to guide that ball, and he's not throwing strikes. He's trying to throw it hard. That's what you want him to do. Fire that ball in, throw it hard. But you don't want him to guide it in, because he might just be giving up hits then at that point.
There's a good pitch. So there, he found his form right there. So if he can settle himself down, get that ball across the plate, allow his defense to do their thing, he has to start throwing some strikes. But good job by Titus settling himself down, getting that ball across the plate for a strike. Well, he walks in another run here.
Looks like, yeah, there we go. So
making a switch now.
Luke Hamill was leaning on the fence there, just waiting. They had to wait for the ball to come to someone so he could call time. And his head in his glove now as he walks off the field. It's tough for these young kids.
Yeah, it's tough. There's lots of emotions, and you can see Titus a bit upset, but hey, did a great job throwing some hard pitches. Got off to a good start, and then just wasn't able to find the strike zone.
Especially for the really good players, too, I find sometimes they can get quite emotional because they know how good they are. They know they should be doing well, and they just can't. It just doesn't quite register sometimes what's happening exactly or why this isn't quite going so well. So it's a really tough one for Titus because he's a really good pitcher and, very important member of this club.
So it looks like it's Connor Brucemish on the mound now.
So Brucemish was the third pitcher in the last game they played against Cornwall, but he'll come and be the number 2 pitcher today. We'll see fastball change up from him today.
The base is still loaded. 3-2 the score now here in the bottom of the first inning. Perth staying very patient at the plate, and they've managed to get themselves back in this game. Tanner Ellick now to the plate for the Royals. That first pitch from Beamish outside for ball number 1.
The numbers here for Elliot Titus as he leaves the game. He pitched a third of an inning through 33 pitches in this one.
That pitch finding the outside corner evens the count at 1.
Gave up 1 hit, 2 runs, but had 4 walks in this game, and no strikeouts.
Swing and a miss for strike 2. And I tell you what, Beamish does not waste any time out there. Gets the pitch and fires it. This one inside. Nice job by Ellick holding off. And good job by the catcher, Hart, to make sure that stays in front of him.
That's great for the defense. When you're on the mound, you get that ball quick and you fire away. Keeps everyone in the game, keeps them ready.
So full count now to Ellick. Here's the pitch from Beamish. And that one just a little bit low. He wanted that call.
Yeah, just missing.
So 3 straight runs come in off of walks, and this game is all tied up.
The good news for this Twins team, only 1 day rest needed now for Elliot Titus out of this game. So he'll be able to collect himself and come back in a game in 2 days.
Pierce Stewart now at the plate for the Royals. There's a good pitch from Beamish. 1-1 the count. Swing and a miss for strike 2. And Beamish ahead in the count. Ottawa West has given up 5 walks here in this first inning.
There's a nice strike, yeah.
Good pitch as Stewart goes down looking.
Wow. Exactly what you need here, the number 8 hitter. You have to be able to attack this. Jacob Tizik, the number 9 hitter right now. End this inning with only the 9 batters faced. You gave up 3 runs. The score is still tied.
Now Beamish finding his groove as he leads off Tizik with a strike. This one a little looper to the shortstop, and Kennedy makes the catch for out number 3, but lots of damage done there in the bottom of the first inning. This game now back to even.
3 runs in that inning off of only 1 hit. It was only Easton Chofie that got a hit in that inning, but Halpenny, Chofie, and Beamish all scored, 2 of them on walks. No errors I had in that inning, and then 3 runners left on base. The bases were left loaded, and a great job coming in there to end that inning and having Stewart striking out, and then Tizik flying out to the shortstop.
There you can see the box score as Easton Chofie takes the mound and gets his warm-up pitches in. And he'll face the number 9 batter in Ottawa West lineup to start things off. They'll go 9, 1, and 2. Kennedy and Smegalinski, 2nd and 3rd hitters due to hit here in the top of the 2nd inning.
I want to say that's a tough call for Luke Campbell. You really want your pitcher, Titus, you really want your pitcher to be able to get through that inning. If you can throw 2 innings, be effective early in this game, even keep them to the 3 runs early in this game. You had that good lead in those first 2 innings, but there's just the trouble for Titus today. Those walks, not able to command his pitches and stay inside that strike zone.
And you saw the emotions from Titus as he came off the field into the dugout, and it's, again, we're watching the best 11 and 12-year-olds here in Ontario. They feel the pressure. There's a chance to go to the Canadians and then a chance to represent your country in the Little League World Series. So lots on the line for these kids. And every game is the most important game as they move along in this tournament.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And as you said, the best 11 and 12-year-olds in this tournament, this major Ontario Little League Championship. Very fortunate to be here to have this experience. I talked to the head coach before the game, and what was this, in 1989? So this is Craig White, the head coach of the Perth Royals, and he was talking about the 1989 Ontario Provincial Championships, which he played in. And he just was mentioning he appreciated how well our broadcast, they were watching it, they really loved seeing this stuff. And then back then, this little thing, you couldn't even tell what player it was on the screen in this 1989 championship. So a big spot for this club, and I hope I hope they really appreciate this experience. That actually reminds me of another story. A player that we called, so this was back in 2005, and I might have...
We just watched 4 straight pitches to Brokop as he goes down to first base on the walk.
2005. So this was the Junior Red Sox, and they had their best ever showing in 2005 in the Junior League World Series. Now, we called these games, they were in Orleans, and there was a player in the team, Jeff Hughes, and I met him, 8 years later when I was going to university at Queen's at the time, and he was there as well, and he remembered me and this experience, and he had the DVD of him playing in this championship game, so it was really cool to watch that. I mean, that was a pretty good broadcast. Rogers did a great job of covering everything at that time, so I don't know if Jeff Hughes was watching, but shout out to him anyway. And he did a great job. Good showing. Red Sox did amazing in that one. Then that was 13, 14-year-olds.
Back to the top of the lineup. Sam Kennedy hits one right down the line, but just foul. And count 1 and 2 to him. Caden Brokop went down to second as the ball got past the catcher, Cameron White. This pitch just kind of floated in for ball number 2. 2 and 2 the count now.
And I'm trying to think, I'd be remiss if I didn't say if it was Chris Messina that I maybe called that game with back then, and I always like bringing up Chris every chance I get on air.
This one popped just into shallow outfield. The shortstop makes the catch for out number 1.
See that one popped up, getting underneath it. Nice job by the left fielder to be back there too. So just to finish that story, Messina, not with us any longer, but he loved baseball. I love calling games with him. So you're thinking about you, Chris.
Here's a grounder to the first baseman. Over to cover the second baseman, but too late. As Smegalinski legs it out. Smegalinski walked in the first inning and scored a run. This time gets an infield single.
This one hit the first baseman, picks it up, bobbles just a little bit in his chest, but nice throw, quick sidearm throw over there to first base, but can't get the out in time.
Smegalinski down to third, and this is the second time you see runners. They're trying to force that throw to second base by hesitating.
Yeah, smart catcher behind the plate though.
Here's the first baseman, Liam Rossiter, out on an infield fly in the top of the first. Has runners in scoring position right now. Chops one foul down the third baseline. Love the chants coming from the Ottawa West dugout every time. They've got a chant for every player.
Yeah, that's one thing we notice, our 11, 12-year-olds. Just the chants from the other team, something, I don't know if they go to baseball song camp or what, but and so my team is starting to learn some of this stuff.
Baseball song camp. Maybe that's something we should start.
We should start
New line of business.
I think so. So it's fun for the kids. It's good. I mean, be at the fence, watch the game, get into it, cheer on your team.
There's a holy cow, what a foul. I'm going to have to start using some of that. Here's the pitch. This one low and outside, and Rossiter will head down to first base, and now the Twins with the bases loaded. Right back at it after giving up 3 runs in the bottom of the first.
Early action on offense from both of these teams. Rossiter popping up to the second baseman has lost him up. This is Nick Hart now. He had a big RBI single that cashed in the first run in this game. Sam Kennedy crossing the plate. That single to center field in his last at bat. And now he's got 3 runners on. Big spot for this right-hander.
Chofie starts him off with a strike. This one high and outside for ball number 1. Nick Hart, the catcher, has a good opportunity here to give his team the lead back again. Inside that pitch, and he smashes it into right field. 1 run in to score. Here comes the second one to the plate, and he'll cross easily. Now they might have Hart, but he gets back to first base, so a 1-out single cashes a couple runs. And Ottawa West back on top by 2.
3 RBIs here now from Nick Hart. Nice single into right field. Now watch this. The second baseman turns, fires home, and now again at the plate you have White looking at the ball with that runner potentially taking second base because they want that run from third to score.
Hart heads down to second base. Owen Cameron at the plate.
Now, if I'm Nick Hart on first base after that play, there's only 1 out in the inning, and you want that chance to be able to get into scoring position, as he just did. Probably not going to want to try to force the throw there. White throwing that to first base or to second base to get the out.
Cameron ducks down, but that ball comes right across the plate for strike number 2, and Chofie ahead in the count 1-2. Here's the pitch. This one a little bit high and inside. 2-2. 1 out here in the top of the second inning. Ottawa West with a 5-3 lead over Perth. There's a grounder that gets by the third baseman, and into score comes Rossiter. Hart over to third. And Cameron with a 1-out single, cashing in a run.
Chofie taking 3 deep breaths, big deep breaths, before he fired in that pitch, but gives up the 2 RBI single. Rossiter and Hart both scoring on that.
Hart
one RBI. Sorry, he's at third base still. So 1 RBI's on that play. 3 RBIs in the game so far.
He might come home now. This ball gets away. White late getting to it, and a good hustle by Nick Hart.
Oh, no.
Hart comes in to score, and Owen Cameron goes first to third on that pass ball, or wild pitch, I should say.
Yeah, rounded second, and the ball was still being bobbled. Take a look at this again behind the plate. So White picks it up quick. He had a bit of difficulty trying to pick that up and make that throw, and then didn't throw to third base in time to get that runner. That might have been a close play, though, if the throw was on and down by the bag.
Now Chofie struggling a little bit with his control as Vincent Leger at the plate. He's 0 for 1 this afternoon. Flied out to the left fielder in the top of the first.
Give it to Owen Cameron, though. Really heads up.
This one really high and over to make a great play. No, it dropped the ball. Foul ball.
Might have been a smart, whether it was dropped or caught or not.
Just about had it.
1 out. Now that's a tough one. You catch that ball, then the runner's going to score versus, you're probably going to take the out in that situation. Get the out, get the out.
Perth now down 7-3. And good rip there by Leger. Fouling that ball off, keeps the count at 2-2.
Nice pitch by Chofie, too. Fired that one in a bit high.
Now the wind picking up a little bit. Little advantage for the batters. Here's the pitch. That went down in the dirt, but he swings at it. Ball gets away from the catcher. In to score is Owen Cameron. Down to first is Leger. You're going to see Perth's manager now come out, have a chat with Easton Chofie.
Chofie upset there. Not sure what he was doing, though. Not covering home plate, just standing on the mound and not able to get that out at home. Another run scores for the Ottawa West Twins.
So Leger down to first on this strikeout wild pitch. 5 runs coming in across the plate here in the top of the second inning for Ottawa West. And we'll have a pitching change. Now as Finn Halpenny, the left-hander, takes the mound.
Yeah, depending on how this game is going, the idea was maybe we're definitely going to see, I think, Jackson White in this game. He's one of the best pitchers on this team, and they need him to be able to throw and shut down this Ottawa West team. But then maybe Finn and Truax would be the other one that we might see pitch in this game if they get into more trouble.
So the southpaw, Finn Halpenny, will come in with one out here in the top of the second, only one out. Runner on first is Vincent Leger.
I have 51 pitches then thrown total. So we mentioned this the game before. Because he was under 51 pitches in the at-bat that he had to start the at-bat, he only needs the 2 days rest now.
Bruce Mish pops it up, and look who makes the catch. Easton Chofie.
This is where the score sheet starts to become a bit of a mess.
Yeah, the substitutions are a bit tough to handle. But Grube will come in to bat for Austin McInnes. Swing and a miss there from Brady Grube. Swings at that pitch as well. Just like that, Halpenny ahead in the count, 0-2. So he tries to get his team out of this inning. This one hit the other way, gets by the first baseman. And Grube in there with a 2-out single, and going from first to third is Vince Leger.
Leger, after he gets on with the strikeout passed ball, going all the way to third base on that one, and safe with a single to right field.
And we have a bit of a meeting of the minds, and they're calling, I'm not sure who they're calling out right there, but that will end the inning.
Oh, okay. So when that ball was hit, okay, so we'll take a look at the replay on this one. What they're saying is the ball that was hit here, if we can see this again, when it was hit into right field, it hit the runner that was on first base at the time, and so he's out as a result. So that would be Leger then that would have been called out.
There it is. Watch it here on the right side of your screen.
No,
that's the pass ball that's earlier on. In any case, that's what just happened. So,
my score sheet's already a mess. I'm gonna have to take a peek at yours.
Bit of a break for the Perth Royals right there. So they were in a little bit more trouble. Allowed 5 runs to come across the plate in the top of the second inning, and they're going to have to get back on the bats here. Work themselves back into this game.
So Brady Grube was the one that had the single to right field then, and it was Leger that was out on that play. Wow. So that was a bat around inning for them. Nine players to the plate for them.
Just like the Perth Royals did in the bottom half of the first inning. 9 batters came to the plate.
And you had someone coming in for a Titus, I guess. Or, well, it would have been the pitcher, I guess, that would have come in at that point.
Bruce Mish, yeah. Came in to bat for Titus. So leading things off for the Perth Royals here in the bottom half of the second inning is the now current pitcher, Finn Halpenny. Looks at strike number 1. Five-run deficit. They can't look at it that way. They've got to get themselves back in 1 run at a time as Halpenny looks at strike number 2.
Colin, I had 51 pitches then for Easton Chofee, and then Finn Halpenny came in and threw 3.
This one just landing foul.
Love to see the replay there. That was close.
Good piece of hitting there by Halpenny.
Good positioning, though, by the umpire. You see this one just land. Umpire in the way, but like I said, he was right there. He saw that play. Foul.
Count remains 0-2. Halpenny gets a piece of that one. Stays alive. Bruce now just throwing strikes. He'll allow his defense to make some plays. Can throw one away here if he wants. Another good piece of hitting by Halpenny as he gets a piece of that one. And all this is doing is raising the pitch count of Bruce Mish.
Yeah, Bruce Mish came into this inning with 12 pitches thrown, as opposed to his teammate Elliot Titus, third of an inning and threw 33 pitches. Only got 1 out on 33 pitches and had 1 hit, 2 runs. Both of them earned 4 walks, no strikeouts, no hit batters.
Here's another pitch that is going to go over the dugout for Ottawa West.
If you're the Perth Royals, this all helps. Bring up that pitch count. Make them throw as many pitches as possible.
1-2 the count to Halpenny. This one he hits to the second baseman, Smegalinski. Makes the play over to Rossiter for the first out here in the bottom of the second inning.
The ground out 4-3 there. Mentioning pitch count, in the tournaments I've done so far, we're pitching every day and managing those pitch counts is tough. The way that they do this tournament, and props to Nicole Amadio, who is in charge of running this tournament, and everyone else that's helping out in every way that they do. And it's great because the kids are playing every other day early in this tournament, so they have a chance to be able to rest those arms, give them that day off, and then pitch the next day. And it would have been tough, that game that we were supposed to call, or that we did call 2 days ago, if it was pushed back one day.
This one a little chopper to the mound, and good job by Bruce Mish getting there, making a perfect throw over to Rossiter for out number 2.
If that game was pushed back one day, then having to manage those pitch counts back-to-back games, back-to-back days would have been really tough. Nice pickup there, holding on to that ball, taking his time, making a good throw to first base.
Now the catcher, Cameron White, up for his second at-bat in this game. Infield fly in the first inning.
How about Connor Bruce-Mish coming in? He walks the first batter he faces, gives up that RBI, but then strikeout, fly out, and now 2 groundouts. Really settling down his team and putting the Perth Royals in big trouble if he can keep this up.
That pitch way up high that White fouls off. Now the count 1-2.
Cameron White, only one of 3 players in this game early on that haven't reached base yet. 3 of them have scored, Halpenny, Chofee, and Beamish. And White, one of the better batters on this team, the number 3 hitter. He needs to get on base here, help his team start something.
Fights off that high pitch again. So Bruce Mish now again throwing a few extra pitches because of all these foul balls. Shakes off the first signal. He gets his pitch now. Here it is. Grounder right up through the middle. Good pickup by the second baseman right over to first. Smegalinski to Rossiter. You saw that earlier this inning, and that is there. So it's a 1-2-3 inning for Bruce Mish on the mound.
Just under the glove of Bruce Mish, but hit to the second baseman. That's Smegalinski, and that's the second ground out 4-3, the big play that he's made in this inning. 3 up, 3 down. And again, of, what is that now, 6 batters faced, 5 that he's retired. Bruce Mish doing an amazing job on the mound. And so no runs in that inning, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. 8-3 the score.
And it looks like we might have a substitution to lead things off here for Ottawa West in the top of the third inning. Patrick on deck. Looks like he might be taking the spot of Caden Brokop.
I had 15 pitches in that inning. Connor Bruce-Mish is now at 27 pitches.
So Gareth Patrick looks like he'll be into the game for Caden Brokop to lead things off in the top of the third inning for the Ottawa West Twins. Twins with an 8-3 lead. And this is a crucial game for the Perth Royals. They are 1-2 in the tournament thus far. Ottawa West sitting tied for second with a 2-1 record. They've only allowed 11 runs in those 3 games that they've played so far, and they've scored 28. Perth has allowed 26 coming into the game and have only scored 14. So Ottawa West certainly the favorite in this matchup, but like you said, you never know with these 11 and 12-year-olds sometimes what you're going to get out of them.
Yeah, I remember calling a game, I think it was LaSalle Turtle Club years ago, and in the game they were about to head to the finals, I think, and they had a phenomenal starting pitcher, big, tall guy, and they pulled him because they wanted to save him for the final game, so we threw under his whatever the pitch count was for that age group at that time, this 30 pitchers, whatever it might have been, and as soon as he left the game, they gave up so many runs and lost that game. So just managing this pitching staff, if you are Craig White and Luke Hamill, is a difficult task. Wow. Oh.
Patrick hits one, goes right off of second base. He rounds first, but will stay at first with a leadoff single.
Did it hit? I wasn't sure what it hit, but man, it was looking like it was going to go right up center field. Watch this replay. Yeah, it hit the edge of the grass.
Yeah, the edge of the grass. I thought it went off second
phenomenal.
base.
Took a nasty bounce.
So back to the top of the order we go. Sam Kennedy at the plate.
That was the single to center field, turned into a single to right field.
He swings at the first pitch. They'll go down to second. They're going to try to get the force out, but it's bobbled there by the second baseman.
Probably call that one an E4. Picks it up. A bit of a high throw there by the third baseman. But I'm going to call that an E4. And then throwing, there was no chance to make the out at first base at that point. Just hold on to that ball.
That's Tizik over there at second base. Chofie has moved over to shortstop. Now Smegalinski with runners on first and second. Nobody out. Takes a big cut at that one. Fouls that one back.
So you had Gareth Patrick batting in place of Caden Brokop.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
This pitch way outside. Or ball 3. It's 3-1 now with runners at first and second. And this one driven way deep over the head of the right fielder, right to the fence. One run will come in to score. They're going to hold the runner at third. And a double from Jack Smegalinski.
The second ball in this game that we've seen hit deep to right field, pretty much in the exact same spot. Right deep on the warning track, hits the fence. But running out, picking that one up. Nice job cutting that one off as well at second base. Just taking a look at where the runner is.
This one driven to center field. Another run will come in to score. They'll hold the runner at third. And Rossiter with the single up the middle.
Some more songs for you there.
Sam Kennedy came in to score. Smegalinski over to third. And Liam Rossiter at first. And it looks like we might have another pitching change.
And here's the one we told you about earlier. This is White coming into pitch now. Jackson White, they were saving him to be able to come into this game. He was not in the starting lineup.
So Jackson White on the mound, brother Cameron behind the plate.
This is kind of fun. Younger brother throwing to older brother.
And we're getting close also to the mercy rule, 10-run rule after 4 innings. So Perth is going to have to play some good defense here and keep Ottawa West off the board.
Runners at first and third here, Colin. We'll see Liam Rossiter take first base early in this at-bat. So there will be 2 runners in scoring position for Nick Hart, who's had a single to center field and a deep single to right field. 3 RBIs in this game, 2 runs scored, a stolen base. You could argue the player of the game so far for his team. He's had a phenomenal game.
A 10-3 deficit now for the Perth Royals. It's Jackson White, the new pitcher.
I had 11 pitches there then, so he would have thrown 8 pitches in this inning, I guess. Wow.
Well, here's the catcher, Nick Hart. Down to second base will go Rossiter. So now runners at second and third for Hart. Takes a big cut, slaps it to the other side. 1 run in for sure, and Rossiter will stay at third base. So another single for Ottawa West. Another run comes across the plate, and they now lead this game 11-3.
Another RBI, another switch here. This one hit into left field. That one bobbled a little bit, but the runner doesn't advance on the play. Nothing doing, doesn't matter anyways. The runner's going to take second base on the first couple of pitches here anyway.
So Brokop is going to come in as a pinch runner for Hart. He's at first base. And Owen Cameron at the plate.
Nice job by White. Just running the ball out towards the pitcher. You got to stay close to the plate because if the runner comes home, you got to be there. And just keeping an eye on that runner. And again, just running slow, trying to bait that throw to second base. But White too smart for that one.
Good pitch there from Jackson White. 1-1 the count. Owen Cameron had a double in that one right to the second baseman and back to third quickly goes Liam Rossiter. Good job by the second baseman, Tizik. That is the first out of this.
Tough one for Cameron. You can hear another switch going on. Tough one for Cameron. Hit that ball hard, but right at the second baseman, it makes a nice play. And then really great job just playing heads up. You said that was Tizik at second base now? Heads up by him, just holding onto that ball and taking a look and seeing where the action's happening on the field.
And this is Johnny Kahachi. Another switch from Ottawa West. So he'll come into bat for Vincent Leger. That pitch way up. His count now 1-1.
Something else I've seen, and I've done myself as well, if the catcher has the ball and you make that throw really hard towards second base shortstop, and the shortstop will creep in and catch the ball, and what you're trying to do is bait that runner at third base and see if he'll run home so you can get the out. But everyone playing it safe today.
Kahachi took a big rip at the pitch previous to that one. Now looks at that one for Ball 2, the count even at 2. Only 1 out here in the top of the third inning. That went outside, so full count now. Runners on second and third.
Rossiter looks taller at his coach over there at third base. Now he is standing on third base, but a big imposing figure for this team, Rossiter.
Broke up at second, Rossiter at third, and Kahachi swinging and miss right there. The swinging strikeout, the first in this game for Jackson White, and it's out number 2 in the top of the third inning here.
And that's the second swinging strikeout we've seen at this spot in the order, the number 6 spot. It was Vincent Leger the last time up to bat, but he was able to get on first base as that ball bounced away from the catcher White.
Now Connor Brucemish with his first plate appearance.
Did he bat last time the pop up to second base?
Oh, excuse me, yes, his second, yeah.
Okay.
He took the place of Elliot Titus. There's a strike called. 1-1 the count, that pitch on the outside corner. Here's the 1-1 inside, called strike. Just catching the inside corner a little bit.
Talking about pitchers, we've seen some movement. I don't think I've mentioned this yet. Rossiter, Kennedy, and Brokop all can't pitch for their club today. Wow.
And Brucemish looks at that called third strike, and that will end the inning. A pair of strikeouts in the top of the third inning. Back-to-back right there gets the Perth Royals out of it. But 3 more runs come across the plate, and now it's 11-3 as we fire up today's trivia question on the screen for you. There were 65 Little League players who played in the major leagues. Name the only 3 Canadians without using your Google machine.
It says
Brett.
There were 65 Little League. Oh my gosh, how long is this question going to be? 65, I've got to name all 65 Little League players who played in the major leagues. Just name the 3 Canadians. Okay, so if you have to go with Atlanta Braves first baseman, now with the Dodgers.
Freddie Freeman.
What
about Joey Votto?
I don't know if he would have counted with, Joey Votto's a good guess. Yeah. I don't know if he would have counted, though.
Jeff Francis.
It would have been America or Jeff Francis is another good guess.
How about your counterpart on the French broadcast?
Phil. You think so?
I don't know.
Philippe Aumont, playing in the Little League. Yeah. That's another good guess. Philippe Aumont, man, it'll be exciting to maybe have him on the English broadcast, whether that happens, I guess, in 2 days' time or whatever. Just him pitching with the Can-Am League and being so dominant, and it'll be exciting to talk to him and find out what he's up to these days. And him pitching internationally as well. I know that he's out of baseball now. He gave up baseball, staying with family, and I commend him for that, for making that choice. That's a difficult one to have to give up baseball, but just happy with where he's at right now. And I've been told, or I've read, still ready to pitch internationally if that chance comes up in the future.
Brucemish delivers his first pitch here in the bottom of the third inning. Grady Beamish at the plate. So the Canadians that played in the Little League World Series that went on to play in the majors. And you're using that Google machine. I don't like it. You're a stats guy. You're a knowledgeable baseball fan.
Yeah, I'm a stats. I don't know if I'd call this stats.
That pitch up high, outside. Count even now 2-2. You should be Rain Manning these names like boom, 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 right off your tongue.
Yeah, that's what the Google machine's for. You don't have to remember that stuff anymore.
And strike number 3 called right there for the first out of the inning. Good pitch from Brucemish.
Brucemish coming in, and he has pitched exceptional so far for this club. He threw 15 pitches in.
Yeah, discussion now. They're trying to find out how many pitches Beamish has thrown. The official score just said 51.
I have him at 27, but not counting this inning. 31 right now, they
31
said?
31 right now, yeah.
Yeah, I had him 27 starting this inning.
So strikeout to Beamish, looking to start off this bottom of the third. Truex McNevin now at the plate. First pitch he looks at is a ball.
That's tough sometimes. It's nice, too, with East Nepean hosting this, to be able to keep track of pitch counts. Normally when you go into a tournament, you will toss before the game, and then the one team will be the official score, and the other team will be official pitch count. And I've done stuff before where we have a pitch count number, and the other team has a different pitch count number, and it's frustrating. Because you trust it's often just parents. Sometimes I don't say just parents, because parents put in so much into their kids. But it's often parents that are doing this. But they've done it enough. You trust that they're doing it right. So getting that number accurate is key.
McNevin slaps one into left field, and he will touch first base with a one-out single.
Great job by McNevin. Got on with the walk his last time up, getting the RBI. This time hitting into the left field to start something for his team. And that is only the second batter in this game that has gotten to base against Beamish. The first one coming on, Tanner Ellick with the walk.
So Jackson White now to the plate.
Bruce Mish now has 2 strikeouts in this game, striking out the first batter, Beamish.
Good eye there from Jackson White as he looks at that one outside. 1-1 the count. One out here in the bottom of the third inning. Perth needing a few runs in this one. Little pop up. The third baseman comes over to make the play. Out number 2.
Tough one there for White as he pops that one up to third base. This is a tough pitcher that you're up against, and you need to cash in some runs.
Tanner Ellick swings a little late on that one, fouls it off down the first base line.
Down 8 runs in this game currently, 11-3 the score for Ottawa.
Here's the 0-1 to Ellick, gets a piece of that one.
Oh. If you saw it, I guess that wasn't on the screen at all. Number 14, I hope he's okay. He tripped as he was going to cover second base, just fell flat on his face, laughing it off a bit now. Yeah, thumbs up. He'll get ribbed for that one after the game, I'm sure.
Thankfully, you've pointed it out to everybody who's watching. Grounder to the first baseman, makes a nice play, and an easy out for the third one here. And that will end the third inning. Ottawa West heads to the top of the fourth with an 8-run lead over the Perth Royals.
And now it's still out of our shot on the screen, but right on the dugout, making fun of him, pretending to fall over his teammates.
And that's the fun part of this game, isn't
Yeah.
it? Just kind of laughing at yourself, getting over those funny little things.
And you can do that when you're ahead in the game, right? You play a little looser, everyone's smiling, everyone's happy, everyone's loose. But if that was not happening in this game, if they were down 11-3, probably not smiling and laughing quite as much. And good for Elliot Titus here, too, only making it through 1/3 of an inning in this game so far. But his team is up, and they've been playing well.
Yeah, it certainly takes the sting away from, the tough time he had with his control. Certainly has a lot of speed on those pitches, good velocity on it, but just struggled with his control today. But if you look at the scoreboard, you see your team up 11-3, a little easier to swallow.
And Luke Hamill will talk to him after this game. It's tough. You sit these guys down, and you have that one-on-one with Titus specifically, and you let him know how important he is to the team, and how good of a pitcher he is, and just shake it off. And you got to be ready for the next game. I've got my Google machine up here. So before the game, I have to mention Dean Brokop. So this is with the Ottawa West Twins. They've been keeping stats for their players so far this year. So he sent me some of the stats, and it looks like Let's see now. I guess I only have their first names on this. Yeah, all right. So I only have the first names on this. So who is the batter to lead off this inning?
It's going to be Austin McInnes.
McInnes, all right. So Austin McInnes, 43 at bats this year, 326 batting average, 453 on base percentage.
And rips that one foul down the third baseline. Almost hits his third base coach. Had to get out of the way very quickly.
And this tells you how good the team is. 326 batting average, which, in the major leagues, that's pretty good. That's Lourdes Gurriel territory right now, I think.
You're making like $500 million a year, but those stats.
$500 million, yeah.
And they're handing out contracts in the majors these days.
That's the 10th best batting average on his team, so.
Can you imagine turning down $440 million?
Now, are you talking about Aaron Judge or
no,
or just in general, anybody?
Or Soto in Washington.
Or Juan Soto. Sorry, can't.
So turn down $440 million guaranteed dollars.
But
this has popped up right by us in a great grab.
Did he catch that?
He certainly did. Excellent catch by the catcher Cameron White to record the first out here in the top of the fourth inning.
And here's the call you got to make. Re-entering. So this was the special pinch runner, I believe, that was earlier in the game. But tough call to make, too. You're the umpire up against the fence, and you have to decide whether that hit the fence or not, because that was so close.
Yeah, watch it right here.
Do we have the... No.
They just have us looking at the screen. That's all.
That was a good replay. There's a shot of us looking. Anyway... Close play, a great catch by White there at the fence. Phenomenal job.
Here's Gareth Patrick, number 9 hitter. He slaps one to the first baseman. Good job defensively to make out number 2.
The pop up to the catcher. Number 2 for the first one. Ground out 4-3 here. And that'll bring Sam Kennedy, the leadoff hitter, to the plate.
This one outside, good velocity on that pitch. Just missing.
Sam Kennedy, already mentioned, can't pitch in this game. One of the top pitchers for his team and the leadoff batter here.
And he hammers one into right center, gets by both the fielders. He rounds first, and he'll be in with a stand-up double.
Squeaking through both the outfielders there, double to center field. He's at a single now. The fly out to the shortstop, the E4, and then hammers this one through the gap, almost makes it to the warning track.
Jack Smegolinski has reached base all 3 times, walked in the first inning, hit a single, and then a double. Gets another hit right here. He scored all 3 times as well. And they've forced the throw all the way home. Kennedy stays at third, and Smegolinski goes down to second.
So that'll be a single, and then advancing on the throw on that play. Wouldn't have mattered anyways. If he stayed at at first base, would have took second base on this anyways. With that runner at third, you have to keep an eye on him.
Good pitch right there to Liam Rossiter, the first baseman for the Twins.
Nice job by the Perth Royals, though, to keep that runner at third base.
They have to keep runs from coming across the plate. They've got 2 outs here, but now 2 runners in scoring position. If they're going to keep this game going, 8-run deficit, 10 runs after 4 ends the game. So got to keep these 2 runners from crossing the plate.
Want to mention to White that when that ball was coming in, just a nice job to stop that one and keep the runner at third base. That was a big spot for him to be able to stop that ball. Cameron White behind the plate.
And here comes Rossiter. No, he stays at, Kennedy at third base. He stays right there as the wind starts to pick up a little bit.
It's not a tremendous amount of room. It's a decent amount of room behind the plate. Sometimes when you have a giant gap back there and that ball gets away, you can run for days.
Fortunate bounce there, too, for White as it kind of bounced right back to him.
Oh.
And that will end the inning as Rossiter goes down looking.
Strikeout looking there. He faced five batters in that inning. The pop-up and the ground out to start it, but then gave up a double single. Keeps both those runners on base still. So 2 left on base for this team to get the 3 outs in the inning.
All right, let's go back to today's trivia question. 65 Little League players who played in the World Series.
So I said Freddie Freeman.
Went on to play in the major leagues. 3 are Canadians.
Joey Votto, and then we mentioned some pitchers as well. See what the answer is.
Let's give you the answer. Here you go.
Adam Lowe, and was thinking about him too.
Jason Bay played for the Mets. Adam Lowen played for a couple of teams, and Michael Saunders played for the Blue Jays. And there you see the years that they played in the Little League World Series.
Jason Bay, probably the biggest name on that list. Just a great player in Major League Baseball when he came up with Pittsburgh. Adam Lowen actually came to the Blue Jays, and I think he stopped pitching after a bit. But, a big draft pick at the time, a great player, but just wasn't able to put everything together in the major leagues. And then Michael Saunders, obviously, when they traded the pitcher Jay Happ to get Michael Saunders on the team, and a great outfielder for the Blue Jays at the time. All right, do I say it? Yeah, we saw that on air. He just fell over. A new player falling over.
Again.
Yeah. No, this is a different one. And now his teammate who fell over before gets to laugh at him.
New feet for everybody on Ottawa West today, apparently.
Now he's tying his shoelaces up. I don't know how these guys are doing, but the 10, 11-year-olds, you got to remind them to tie their shoes quite a bit. Sometimes you have to tie it for them. And, I mean, these guys are only 1 or 2 years older as well, so 11, 12-year-olds.
Well, Perth has to do something to try and get back in this game. Down 8 runs. They've got to get the bats going. And Jacob Bennett will get things going in place of Pierce Stewart.
I was at 40 pitches for Connor Bruce-Mish then, and I guess that's right, and then 26.
A swing and a miss there for strike number 2. Quickly, Bruce-Mish making his way through Bennett, but he gets a piece of that one to stay alive.
No, that should have been, so 26 pitches for Jackson White, that would have been.
Here's the 0-2, and strike 3 on the outside corner. Bennett goes down looking for the first out here in the bottom of the 4th inning.
There it is, just caught the outside corner of the plate, batter out.
Number 9 hitter now in the lineup for the Perth Royals, Jacob Tizik at the plate. That one inside, brushes him back, evens the count at 1 apiece.
Tizik, his only at bat in this game, the pop up to the shortstop, that was in the 1st inning. They had 9 batters come to the plate in the 1st inning. A lot of walks in that one.
This one up high, missing for ball number 2. This one a little pop fly in the just beyond third base. Nice job by the third baseman to make the great catch in foul territory for out number 2.
Great grab over there, looking for pitch count right now on his pitcher. I think he was at 48. So probably looking to keep him under, well, potentially. Yeah, this will be his last batter. That's my guess. He wants to keep him under that 50 pitch count mark, so that would be 2 days rest. Now what will happen here is, because he started this batter at 48, regardless of how many pitches he throws, that'll be his pitch count total then.
Back to the top of the order we go. Finn Halpenny trying to keep his team alive here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Again, down 8 runs. It's 11-3 Ottawa West. That one in there for ball number 3. And there's strike 1.
Caden Brokop pitched the final inning of the game before. Not sure what his pitch count is total right now. Trying to figure who might be the last pitcher in this game if they need someone after this one.
There's a foul tip. And just like that, now the count run full. 3-2, 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Bruce Mish trying to get out. And this one driven right to center field.
Wow, good a catch.
Right to the center fielder, who makes the good catch for out number 3.
Thinking about Luke Hamill there, what he might have to do if they can't get through this final batter, but able to get the 3rd out there. A big out for this Ottawa West Twins team. A nice job for him to be able to, Bruce Mish, for him to be able to end the inning. Again, I'm guessing that's probably the end of the day for him.
Yeah, it looked like if he didn't get that final out that they were going to make a change. Someone coming in off the bench to pitch, and it might have been Brokop, actually.
So no runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left on base. 14 pitches he threw for 54. 54 pitches total. And again, that 54 is not the number that matters then. It was the 48, I believe, that he started that batter with. So only needs the 2 days rest. He'll be ready to go.
Well, Jackson White's still on the mound for the Perth Royals. You see him right there in the middle of your screen. He's getting set to pitch in the top of the 5th.
And I believe Jackson White is at 26 pitches thrown total right now.
Nick Hart will be the first batter that he faces. Owen Cameron and Johnny Kahachi scheduled to bat after Hart.
Since he's come in, I mean, he's pitched pretty well. He hasn't allowed a single run. He allowed the single that was to Nick Hart, and then gave up the double to Sam Kennedy and the single to Jack Smegolinski, but was able to keep both those runners on base and ended the inning with the strikeout looking to Liam Rossiter.
First pitch in there for a ball.
But this is going to be a tough opponent to face here. Nick Hart, 3 singles he's had in this game, and all over the place. Center field, right field, and then left field.
Goes up the middle, and this one into the outfield. The center fielder in to make the play and get the ball back into the pitcher. And a leadoff single for Nick Hart.
There it is, right up the middle. And Nick Hart, 62 at-bats this year. He's at 387 batting average, and that is good for only 5th place on his team. But you wouldn't know it from the tournament so far today. He has been phenomenal. 480 on-base percentage this year.
Wild pitch right there. That one goes over the head of Owen Cameron. Down to second base goes Nick Hart.
And speaking of big bats, Owen Cameron, the double, the single, and then that line out to the second baseman. He leads his team 60 at-bats, has a 450 batting average, and 542 on-base percentage.
This one driven over the head of the left fielder, makes it all the way to the fence. Into score will be Nick Hart, and into second with a stand-up double is Owen Cameron.
Destroys that ball, and as he was rounding first base, put his arm on the first baseman, not getting out of the way really. The first baseman standing there watching the play. He made it into second base easily. Probably could have ran to third, but it would have been a close play at third base with that relay ball in quick.
And this one hits Leger square in the back. That one has got to hurt, and he is feeling that one.
Goes right to the dugout.
Oh, it looks like he might need a pinch runner.
He's got to touch first base and then get the runner in for him.
Yeah, that one stings. You can see him there with his right hand on his back, and he'll make his way to the dugout. They'll get a pinch runner for him. That was a hard fastball there from Jackson White, and you can see Leger heading into the dugout. Johnny Kahachi comes out of the dugout will replace Leger at first base.
It's tough. You want to tell take one for the team, right? You get on base, you're really helping out your team there, but it's nice to get on base in different ways than that. Right square in the back, but good job by him, and that's something we're still trying to teach to our young kids too. Turning away from the ball. Some players will step backwards, and as you're stepping backwards, you're really opening up your body to being hit in the chest, in the face, which is going to cause a lot of damage. To just turn that body, step out of the way, or turn that body away, take the pitch, and get hit where there's a bit more meat.
Elliot Titus back in the game to bat this one in the dirt. Great job by Cameron White behind the plate.
Look up the numbers here for Titus. So, Elliot Titus, 51 at-bats, 333 batting average, 404 on-base percentage.
That ball outside for ball number 2. 2-0 the count. There's nobody out here in the top of the 5th inning. Ottawa West with runners on first and second. They already have one run come across the plate. They've increased their lead to 12-3.
Fortunately for Perth, that runner at second base. So you have runners at first and second. Because he's not at third base right now, they'd have to do that double steal to get 2 of the runners in scoring position. And Jackson White, this is the first bit of trouble. I mean, there was the double and single in the last inning, but there was 2 outs there. Now we've got a run in, 2 runners on base, and nobody out.
Umpiring is going to need a little bit of a equipment delay there as that pitch was fouled off. Watch it right here. Hits him right there in the throat protector.
I don't even know if you noticed that first. The throat protector on the ground. So a bit of a delay as he goes back. He's trying to get that. Yeah, he's got the piece. He's trying to get it back on right now.
So again, runners on first and second. Kahachi at first after Leger was hit in the back. Owen Cameron at second. Nick Hart has already come in after singling to start this inning. It's a 12-3 lead for Ottawa West as they look to jump back over Ancaster. They each have 3-1 records, identical 3-1 records. Now, I don't know what the tiebreakers are. Is it the runs for, runs against differential first, or is it head-to-head first? Because I believe...
Yeah, head-to-head should be first.
I believe Ancaster...
And then it's the runs
Ottawa
against...
West.
Yeah, it's head-to-head first.
So Ancaster would remain in first place with the win over... Oh, excuse me. Ottawa West beat Ancaster. So Ottawa West will jump over Ancaster, take first place, and that's going to be big heading into Thursday's games, semifinal games.
Titus not sure of the count. I mean, it was a bit of time in between, I guess. So Titus is back in this game. All right, Titus is back in this game anyways. Finish that thought. Coming in for Connor Brucemish. Brucemish will be out of the game now after pitching a heck of an effort from him. That one looked pretty low and outside. Called a strike.
Titus not getting any breaks here this afternoon.
No.
Oh, they hesitated going down to third.
Very lucky at third base.
Good throw by White to the third baseman. Runners advance.
Double steal attempt as Owen Cameron was running towards second base. I mean, we see this, third base. We see this when the runner's running towards second base, but he stopped, he slowed down, and then he started to speed up again, and that throw was pretty close over at third base. Owen Cameron, fortunate he made it there in time.
That's Brady Grube at the plate now. He tries to cash the runners in and slaps one into right field. It'll fall in front of the right fielder. Gets it in, 1 run scores. And a good throw by the second baseman. Home, that holds the runner at third base. Now runners on the corners and a 10-run lead for Ottawa West.
The single here to right field. This is his third at-bat in the game. Had a single to right field in his first at-bat, then the pop-up to the catcher. That was the one that went right up against the fence. keeping his team in this one and scoring a run there for his team. Nice job.
Caden Brokop back at the plate. And one out here in the top of the 5th inning. Now they have that 10-run lead.
We'll see Brady Grube take this base early on in this count as well. There he goes. Fake the throw.
Then,
oh, very fortunate. I'm not sure what White was doing there. If you think he was throwing it hard back to the pitcher, but the pitcher didn't catch the ball. And fortunately, the shortstop picked it up quick. And again, fortunate for them that the runner didn't go.
Well, I think even more fortunate that he didn't
hurt his hand.
No, throw that ball right in his brother's face.
His face. Okay,
ripped it right by him.
Yeah, it was a hard throw, and that's no damage done. But that's a hard throw, not one you would expect to go back to the pitcher. I guess I'm not sure what the intentions were there from White.
Good pitch there by Jackson White. 1-2 the count now on Caden Brokop.
Ottawa West continuing to add to their lead. 13-3 the score in the 5th inning.
That pitch in for ball number 2.
2 runs in here this inning. That was Nick Hart and Owen Cameron that have both scored.
2-2 the count. There's the pitch. This one chopped foul.
White picking that one up in foul territory. White's taken on a lot for his team in this tournament. We saw him pitch in the last game, now behind the plate. A lot of stress on that arm. But, man, has he ever done a great job for his team.
That one inside goes all the way. And fortunately for Perth, the runner stays at third.
That just missed the batter. I thought it actually hit his toe there. Sometimes if you're the batter, I've seen this before too, if you're confident in yourself, you do not tell the umpire that ball hit you. You want that hit.
Let's see what he does here. 3-2 the count. 1 out. Top of the 5th inning. And slaps this one to the third baseman. Great throw over to first, but a run will score. Kahachi comes in to score. And down to third goes Brady Grube.
Hey, that's great. You got the RBI in. Sure, you grounded out, but you put another guy over at third base now, and you got that run in. 2 outs in the inning.
Back to the top of the order. Sam Kennedy at the plate.
And that's probably the biggest thing there. You just turned over the order as well, and you got Sam Kennedy, a massive bat, who just doubled in his last at-bat. 5
at-bats in 5 innings, and fouls this one back. Scored a pair of runs. He doubled to right center field his last plate appearance. And hammers a ball right past the shortstop for a single. And another RBI as Brady Grube comes in to score. 15 runs now across the plate for Ottawa West.
There's a tough call if you have to pick a player of the game for your team in this one between Sam Kennedy, Smugalinski, and Nick Hart. They've been phenomenal. Or Connor Bruce-Mish as well on the mound for his team. Just offense all over the place and big contributions all over the place for this Ottawa West team.
Smugalinski was left stranded in the 4th inning, but has scored 3 runs in this game. One and one now, the count to Smugalinski. Liam Rossiter on deck. This pitch up high. Ball 2.
Jack Smugalinski, 386 batting average, 491 on-base percentage in his 44 at-bats this year.
Here's a slow grounder to the second baseman, over to first.
Close
Just
play.
Gets him. Good throw by the second baseman. And that will end the top of the 5th inning, but 4 more runs come across the plate for Ottawa West, and they have a 12-run lead.
4 runs, 4 hits, no errors, 1 runner left on base in that inning. That is another big inning for Ottawa West, and just piling on their lead, 15-3, up by 12 runs in this game. And again, looking at just some of the big contributors for this team, that Nick Hart scoring 3 runs for his team, along with Smegalinski, but Sam Kennedy also with the double, the single, the 2 singles, reaching on base with the error in this one. Just the offense from Ottawa West, they're really putting a stamp on this game. And they've scored, how many runs have they scored in this tournament so far when they started this one?
Ottawa West had 28 runs for coming into this game. So now 43 leads the tournament.
That's phenomenal. And only giving up the 3 runs in this game. And think about the way it started with Titus running into trouble, but then Bruce Mish just comes in and ends it. And so here's a new pitcher. We mentioned this, probably going to be the end of the day for Bruce Mish, and it was. And that's number 17 coming into the game now. I have Brady Grube. No relation to Kelly. Fortunately, I don't have pitching stats for this team. Just the hitting stats. But if you're Ottawa West, you're really hoping this will be the end of the day for him. At most, you want him to have the 1 day rest. Hopefully no days rest in this game if you can keep him under 20 pitches in this inning.
Waiting for a first base coach now for the Royals before we get underway.
Oh.
And
a player with a helmet, there you go.
I think really what you'd like to see here out of Grube is just throw strikes. Let your defense do all the work. Try and get out of this with as few pitches as possible.
Exactly. You're exactly right.
There's a strike in the outside corner. Easton Chofee leading things off for the Royals. Bottom of the 5th inning, down by 12. There's a grounder, gets through the infield. And through the outfielder, Chofee into second with a stand-up double. Leading things off for the Royals here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Twins playing a little sloppy to start this one. That ball dropped at second base as well. You see this one get through the drawn-in infield and then through the legs of the left fielder.
I have to give an error to the left fielder there.
So a single, that'll be a single to left field, and then advance on error to second base on that one.
And here's Cameron White, the catcher. He's been doing a great job behind the plate all day long, now trying to get his bat going. 0 for 2 on the afternoon. Looks at a called first strike. 1-1 the count.
White shaking his head, but he's got to understand it's been a pretty big strike zone. It's been going both ways for these teams today.
This one, he just slaps in it right to the second baseman, who backpedals just a little bit and makes the catch. So White now 0 for 3 this afternoon. A pop out to the second baseman.
And there's something else for this Ottawa West team. You've kept probably their best, one of their best hitters on the team in check all day. 3 up, 3 down for him. The fly out to the shortstop, the pop up to the second baseman, and then that ground out to the second baseman as well.
Grady Beamish takes a good cut at that first pitch he sees and fouls it back.
In fact, Cameron White hasn't even gotten the ball out of the infield today, so he's going to look his next game for some redemption.
Here's the 0-1. He's a grounder to the second baseman, picks it up, over to first for the easy out.
Love that. Nice heads up over at first base. You're watching that runner. That's what you want. You want your players to make the play, but don't give up on the ball. There's still a ball game being played on around you. See this one picked up, gets the out, but he's looking. He's watching that runner at third base, and he's ready. He's running the ball towards the third baseman, and he's ready to make that throw to third base or to home if he needs to.
called strike to lead things off. Truex McNevin at the plate for the Royals. Here's the 0-1. Fouled back.
McNevin's been one of the big spots for his team so far today. The walk in the first inning got the RBI, and then the single to left field back in the third inning.
And there is strike number 3. And that will end the game. Called third strike. Truex McNevin goes down looking, in a big victory for the Ottawa West Twins. They win this one 15-3. Jump over Ancaster now to lead the tournament in first place.
You can't see the look on his face because he's got the face guard on, but just mouth agape and shaking his head. Couldn't believe that third strike call. But again, it went both ways today.
There's the line score on the TV screen for you. 15 runs across the plate for the Twins, 17 hits and 1 error for the Royals, 3 runs on 3 hits. And a couple of errors. Good job by both these teams. Ottawa West a little bit better here this afternoon. We'll take a short break. We'll come back to wrap things up here at the Eagles Nest in Barrhaven, Ontario. See you in a couple minutes.
Gabriel Pizza, proud supporter of local sports. Gabriel Pizza, home of the bigger, better pizza. Now available online at GabrielPizza.com.
Focus better.
Partner better.
Sleep better.
Breathe better.
Love better. Work better. Friend better. Unwind better.
Everything gets better when you get active.
Nothing beats a glass of fresh iced tea, except maybe a glass sweetened with honey. Join me when I make an array of things with the world's oldest sweetener.
Every year, dozens of Canadians are killed or seriously injured because they take risks around railway tracks. Talk to your loved ones about rail safety. Visit stoptracktragedies.ca.
Final score here at the Eagles Nest in Barrhaven, Ontario. Ottawa West with a huge victory over the Perth Royals. And you see there the box score for Perth, or for this game between Ottawa West and Perth.
Yeah, just big pitching contributions for the Ottawa West team after we saw Elliot come in and struggle early on. But Connor Brucemish came in through 54 pitches, gave up 1 run in that first inning. He had to come and replace the batter just off the walk, off the first batter that he faced. So that 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, and then Brady Grube coming in to end the game. He only threw 10 pitches, so this is great because Connor Brucemish only needs a little bit of rest. And we said at the top of the inning, Grube, you need him to keep a low pitch count under that 20, and he did. He threw 10 pitches, 1 hit, no runs, no walks, 1 strikeout. Phenomenal pitching performance by that team, and how about the hitting from that team today? Man, were they awesome.
17 hits for Ottawa West, and the 3 runs that they gave up all coming on walks in the bottom of the first inning. Let's have a look now at our next broadcast. Still another game here to play this evening, and another 3 games tomorrow. But for us, we will be here again on Thursday at 4:30 for one of the semifinals. We'll see who will be playing in that game. But as of right now, Ottawa West in first position, Ancaster in second place. East Nepean still to play here this evening. They will play Orleans in the next game at 5 o'clock. Cornwall, Perth, and Orleans round out the bottom 3. So Perth now in danger of missing the semifinals.
As we're sitting right now, potentially Ottawa West versus Cornwall in that 1 versus 4 matchup.
It could be that. Now we're going to get into a bit of a tie-breaking situation, I'm sure. 2 teams at 3-1. East Nepean still to play there at 2-1. Cornwall's at 2-2. Perth now 1-3, and Orleans still has not won a game in this tournament. So we'll see how things play out. Another game here today, 3 games here tomorrow, and then we'll be back here at 4:30 on Thursday afternoon. You can catch the 1:30 game on Rogers 23. But until then,
I'm Brett Jywett.
We'll wait and see. Colin Zappia, Brett Jywett.